Hi guys, hope you're all well. It's been a while since I last vlogged. I did want to do another one, so I thought what better way to do it than to do an updated version of my symptoms video. So I made my first symptoms video, I think just after I'd started chemotherapy, just to get a video out there to help guys identify the symptoms of lymphoma, and if it's something you're going through, kind of to help you. That video did a lot better than I thought, and right now it's got like over 70,000 views on YouTube, so I thought let me make an updated version. So here it is. So today I want to go through the top 10 symptoms of lymphoma in no particular order, some symptoms which I had, some which I didn't, but just try and give you as much information as possible. So let's get started. First and foremost, swollen lymph nodes. Now, lymphoma is obviously a cancer of the lymphatic system. So we have these little lymph nodes around our body, and sometimes they do swell because of other reasons. However, if you have lymphoma, obviously they get cancerous and the tumours can grow really large. Now, the most common areas for these tumours are the neck area, under the arm, around the stomach and the groin. I had 5 tumours in total. I had one on my neck here, which was my biggest one. I had another one just above it. I had a third one on the opposite side of my neck, one under my arm, so my armpit, and I had one in my lung. My lymphoma had got to stage 4 before I was actually diagnosed, which means it had spread to my organs. So I had a tumour in my left lung. Now, the tumour in my lung actually caused me other issues, which I'll get to a bit later on. But what you'll realise with a lot of these symptoms are, you can kind of put them down to other things. You probably won't think much of them, which is something I did. But again, I'll touch on that a bit later on. Let me just carry on running through the symptoms for now. So number 2 is fatigue. I was very fatigued. I used to be tired all the time, and people used to always say, oh, I'm always tired too, but I could never describe the level of fatigue that I felt. I just used to be drained all the time, mentally, physically. No matter how much sleep I got, even though I wouldn't get much, I was just always tired. Number 3 is unexpected weight loss. If you are losing weight and you just can't explain why, and you're losing quite a bit of it, it could also be a symptom of lymphoma. If it is something you're concerned about, just weigh yourself regularly, maybe every week or every 2 weeks, and kind of just keep track of it, just to be careful and just to make sure that there is nothing sinister going on. Number 4, and one I suffered from really badly, was night sweats. I used to literally drench my bed in sweat. Every night when I'd go to sleep, I'd fall asleep, and maybe an hour and a half later, I'd wake up literally with the bed completely soaked. I'd then get up, change my clothes, change everything, and then get back into bed, fall asleep, and maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours later, wake up again. This would happen to me throughout the night. I'd literally wake up about 3 or 4 times every night, just covered in sweat. Really disgusting, actually. I'm quite a germaphobe, and I hate sweating. And it was just really weird for me. I was kind of just like, bloody hell, this is a lot of sweat. You know, I didn't know what it was. I genuinely didn't. I did, again, put it down to other things, which I'll go through at the end of this. But yeah, night sweats. If you are being more sweaty than what you'd consider normal, especially during the night, maybe it's something to keep an eye out for. Number 5, and another one which I had quite badly, was itching. I was very itchy. My arms and my legs especially, my legs more so I'd say, were really bad. I'd literally scratch my legs to the point where they bled, just because they'd itch so much. I'd carry creams around with me all the time. I remember I used to work in an office at the time, and I had my work bag, and in my bag I'd keep like a tub of body butter, just to kind of keep putting on my legs throughout the day, because they just keep itching at my desk. The thing was that no matter what creams I used, or oils, or ointments, anything, nothing would stop it. Literally, I can't remember how long I had the itching for. It was a very long time. So if your skin is itchier than usual, please do go and get checked out. People who do have lymphoma, they can get other symptoms which are usually less common, but they can occur. One of them is brain or nerve issues. For example, with me, I remember I used to get quite dizzy from time to time. It wouldn't happen often, but every now and then I would just have this really bad bout of dizziness. which I just couldn't explain because I'm not the type of person. I know some people do get dizzy and get faint a lot. People do pass out, black out, that sort of thing, because of other reasons. But for me, it's never happened to me in my life. So when I started getting a bit dizzy, it did feel a bit strange, but you can get these symptoms. Like I said, they are less common, but again, if something just doesn't feel right, it could be an issue, it could not, we don't know, but best to get checked. Another symptom of lymphoma, which I didn't necessarily get myself, but it can happen to people, is when you frequently get ill, or you're frequently fighting infections, or you've always got a fever, or you get fevers quite often. These can all be signs of lymphoma, especially if you do have some sort of infection and your body's finding it very hard to fight it. Again, it could be a symptom of lymphoma, so it's always good to keep an eye out for that if that is something that happens to you. This didn't particularly happen to me. I was actually quite fit at the time, and I was very much so into my health, so I didn't really get ill much, to be fair. I still don't. It's just something that doesn't really happen to me often, but again, it can happen to others. Now, another set of symptoms which kind of did happen to me, but not for the reasons that I'm about to state. I'll clear that up in a sec, but are chest issues. You can have like pains in your chest, you could have coughs, that sort of thing, heavy feeling chest. These can all be symptoms of lymphoma. Now, when I was sick, I did used to have really bad pain in my chest. I remember there were times I'd be sitting at my desk and I'd literally just clutch my chest and like lean forward like this and kind of just be in pain. And I didn't know what was going on. It felt like a little heart attack. And you know when you kind of have those mini heart attacks and you're like, right, this is it. It was nice knowing you life, but it's over. Those scary kind of moments where your chest just hurts quite badly and you don't know why. That used to happen to me a lot. But it wasn't because of the symptoms I've just stated. That was because of the tumour in my lung. So as I mentioned earlier, I had a tumour in my left lung, and it had grown quite big, and it was just as big as the largest one on my neck that I had. But obviously I couldn't see or feel it protruding or anything like that because it was in my lung. But as that tumour grew larger, it started pressing against my heart, which started causing me quite a bit of pain, as you can imagine. I did go to the doctors about this about a year before my diagnosis, where I complained about this pain, and I went to my GP and they were rubbish. They were absolutely rubbish. My GP told me it was pain because I go to the gym quite a lot, so it was just the muscles working. He prescribed me a month's worth of anti-inflammatory pills and sent me on my way. Absolute joke. And it was only after my diagnosis that I actually looked back at everything and realised, like, it was a tumour. It was not inflammation from going to the gym. This guy had no idea what he was talking about. But from what I've heard, this kind of thing does happen a lot. Like I said, the symptoms of lymphoma are quite general. They could be down to other things. So it's very hard to differentiate between lymphoma and another cause. But even so, I do think he could have done some other tests on me. But anyway, if you do get any sort of chest problems, obviously you should get those checked straight away. But they could be lymphoma. It could be a million things when it comes to your chest. Chest pains or any sort of chest issues, get them checked straight away. Now, number 9, this is not an issue that I had myself, but your lymph nodes can get painful when you drink alcohol. Now, the reason I didn't have this was at the time I never really used to drink much, to be fair. I still don't drink much. So it's not something I would have picked up on, but it can be common. I do find now, obviously after my treatment, and I am still in remission and I am still all clear, but sometimes when I do drink alcohol or drink too much alcohol, I do start getting pains where I used to have my tumours, mostly in my neck or under my arm. So it can happen when you do still have lymphoma, and it can happen even after you've been treated for it. But if you do start getting pains around the areas I mentioned earlier, like the neck, under your arms, your stomach or your groin, when you do drink alcohol, this could be a sign of lymphoma. Now, number 10 and the last one is stomach issues. Again, this isn't something that I had, but I do know people can have stomach problems, like an irritated stomach or some sort of pains or feeling nauseous, that sort of thing. Again, this could be down to so many things, but it is one of the other symptoms of lymphoma. It's less common, but again, it can happen. So if you do have a dodgy stomach and it wasn't because of the food you ate, please do go get it checked out. So there we have it. Those are my top 10 symptoms of lymphoma. like I said earlier, these are all things you could put down to other stuff, which is what I did myself. When I had swollen lymph nodes, especially the one here, I had surgery on my right shoulder a couple years prior. So I just thought when this lump appeared, it was just a muscle growing back funny, or because of the surgery, maybe something had just grown a bit differently. I used to go to the gym quite a lot, so my body was changing. So I just thought maybe it's just a muscle kind of growing, or it was actually when one of my best mates who worked with me at the time was like, "What is that on your neck?" And then I was like, well, if people can see it like that, then it must be an issue. When it came to fatigue, I mean, I had a very stressful job and I used to work a lot. I used to work in recruitment, so you're pretty much working 24/7. I used to start work really early. I remember I used to leave my house at about 5:45 in the morning. I used to get home quite late. When I did get home, I used to carry on working on my work phone and laptop sometimes, things like that. So I'd barely get any sleep. I was waking up at about 4 AM every day to work out. Because I started work so early, I used to train really early in the mornings before work. So I wasn't getting much sleep, and I had a very long and stressful job. So I put the fatigue down to that, which a lot of people would do. We all have busy lives and we are all tired quite a lot. So it's something that you can put down to other factors. When it came to the weight loss, like I said, I was exercising quite a lot, and at the time I was trying to lose a bit of weight. So yeah, my weight was going down, but I just thought it's because of the exercise that I'm doing. When it came to the night sweats, I get really hot easily. Everyone who knows me knows that I can't handle heat very well, and I do get hot, especially at night. I always have to sleep with a fan anyway. So when I just started sweating more, I just kind of thought, although it was a lot of sweat and it wasn't normal, at the time you don't make anything of it. You don't kind of, I was 24, 25 at the time. I didn't think I've got cancer. I put it down to just being hot at night, and just used to sleep with a fan on. Itching. When I used to have really bad itchiness around my legs, like I said, I put it down to dry skin, as most people would. I live in the UK, it's quite cold here most of the time, and when it gets cold, your skin does tend to dry out. So I just thought I had dry skin. So I put it down to that, which is why I kept using the creams and stuff. Again, I would never associate itchy skin with cancer. So it is one of those things that most people, again, would put down to other stuff. So yeah, the symptoms can be quite normal, if that makes sense. They just seem like it could be anything. It's nothing serious. Especially when you're young, because lymphoma is a type of cancer that mainly affects young people. Usually in between the ages of 20 and 30, and then later on in life. I was in that age bracket. I'd never even heard of lymphoma. I didn't know what it was. So I'd never ever thought, okay, maybe I've got cancer, I should get checked out. So if you are like that and you have these symptoms, any of them, even one of them, and you're blaming other things, please, please, please get checked out. It is better to be safe than sorry. Now, I just want to clarify, I didn't have all these symptoms all at once. They kind of came gradually. I can't remember which order I got them in. By the end of it, by the time I got diagnosed, I pretty much had every symptom. But they didn't all come at once. It wasn't like one day I snapped my fingers and I was itching and sweating and all sorts, right? They kind of came bit by bit. I can't remember the order, but that's why I say, even if you have 1 or 2 or 3, however many symptoms you have, please go and get it checked out. Also, bear in mind, a lot of these symptoms can be a little bit embarrassing. Nobody wants to go to the doctors, or nobody wants to tell their friends or family, oh, by the way, I sweat a lot at night. I woke up 3 times last night and my bed was covered in sweat. Nobody wants to do that, so they can be a bit embarrassing. People do get a bit shy, but at the end of the day, it's your health and you want to make sure you are looking after it. At the time of my diagnosis, like I mentioned, I was very healthy. My diet was very good. I was very much into fitness. I was exercising all the time. And I always say that's one of the things that actually kept me alive. Now, I had this cancer for 2 years before I was diagnosed. And one of the big reasons I was still quite fit and healthy was because of my exercise regime and my nutrition. Food plays a major part, and that's a video for another time. However, if I did not have the diet that I had at the time and I was not looking after my health like I did at the time, I genuinely don't think I would have made it. I think it would have been too far gone. I was quite far in my stages anyway. I was diagnosed at stage 4B. My survival chances were 42%, which I now have tattooed on my arm, as a little reminder. But I didn't know that at the time. I only asked my hematologist this right at the end. After I was diagnosed, She actually took me into office and said, look, we've run all the tests we can on you, and we've come to this sort of conclusion where we've kind of worked out a rough survival rate. Would you like to know it? And I said, no, don't want to know. At the end of the day, I'm going to have to go through chemotherapy regardless, whether it was 1% or 99%. I have to do this. So I didn't want it affecting my mentality. It's only after I finished my treatment, I went back and I said, right, can you tell me what that percentage was? And I was shocked. It was 42%, which is quite low. But as I was saying, yeah, I do think my lifestyle really helped me a lot. So also do be careful of what you actually put into your body in terms of food and just the way you live. Try and live as healthy as possible. That's what I promote now. I want everyone in this world to be healthy and fit and happy. If you have been diagnosed and you are now watching this video, please do not worry. When it comes to lymphoma, it is a highly treatable cancer, especially if you are in that younger age group. If you look at me, I was on stage 4B. I had it for 2 years without diagnosis. My survival chances were 42%, but here I am right now making this video for you. It's all about this. It's all about your mentality. Help yourself. There's so many things you can do. Drop me a message if you are going through anything. People always do. I'm more than happy to speak to you guys. All I want you to take away from this video is, if you have 1 symptom or 10, it does not matter. Please go and get it checked out. If you have been diagnosed, please do not worry and do not stress too much. I hope you find this video helpful. If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like the video. If you have any questions, feel free to message me or leave a comment below. If you want to see me make any more videos about anything to do with cancer in particular, again, leave a comment and I'll try my best to make those. If you haven't already, please go and follow me on my Instagram. It's at DNAFitnessUK. I post on there quite regularly. And it's a good place to find information about lymphoma and cancer and health and fitness and everything related. So please do give me a follow if you don't already. Like I said before, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you found it useful. I wish you guys all the best and I'll speak to you soon.